To the video version of my journal. I'm Steffanie Rivers. Come on into the conversation. I am multicasting on several platforms, so you could be watching on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn, on whatever channel, or on Instagram. On whatever channel that you're watching, we want to welcome you to the conversation. So what are we talking about today? Well, that sheriff's deputy who shot and killed Airman Roger Fortson in Florida has been fired for using unreasonable force, according to the Okaloosa Sheriff's Department. The sheriff himself put out a statement. Now, it happened, the firing happened this past Friday. His name is Eddie Duran. He's the now fired deputy. And let's take a look at him. That's him on the left, Eddie Duran. And that's the deceased Roger Fortson, Airman, on the right. He was just buried a couple of over the Memorial Day weekend, as a matter of fact, in the area of Atlanta. So someone from the management office, in case, I'm sure you heard, but I just want to go back over it. Somebody from the management office at the apartment complex called the sheriff's department and said that there was a physical disturbance in progress. And when they showed up, the body cam video is what we saw that they released to the public. So I'm not sure how long it took for Duran, who showed up, to get to the scene, but there was no visual disturbance or audible disturbance at Fortson's 1401 apartment when the deputy got there, because we saw the video. So if you want to see that video again, I talked about it before and showed it before, but it's on YouTube. Now, the law enforcement officer clearly was aggressive for no reason. That we saw that on the body cam. And the video shows that Airman Fortson never raised the weapon. It also shows that he was within, they later determined after the investigation, that he was within his rights to be armed at his door. So in my previous video, though, about the shooting, I focus on the fact that even though an investigation proves that Fortson, the airman, was within his rights and the deputy was wrong, we know that if you're Black in America, if you want to come out alive, you have to be 5 steps ahead of the situation. In any situation, you just got to think, if I open the door with a gun in my hand, what's going to happen if I do this, if I say that, if I go there? You have to be 5 steps ahead. So that's what we focus on in that video. And that in no way was me saying that it was Fortson's fault, but we have to again be 5 steps ahead. So this also, the outcome of these situations are proof that of a few things. One, it doesn't have to take long for an investigation of a police involved shooting, especially if there's cop cam video. And these cases where they take months to come up to some type of conclusion, it's just the department's way to buy their time to come up with a more favorable narrative for the department and the law enforcement officer that they want to protect. So yeah, it hasn't been that long. And of course, in Memphis, with those 5 police officers, or how many ever it was, and they beat up, and later he died, the person in Memphis, it didn't take them long to fire them and convict them. So when they want to fire you and convict you, they can. Number 2, when they want to get rid of a cop, they will do it in a heartbeat, regardless of the police union that they claim keeps them from doing so. And number three, if the law enforcement officer is a non-white person, which it looks like Eddie Duran, this it looks Latino in his name, Duran sounds Latino, they will drop him off faster than you drop a hot-boiled egg. Okay. That is what I have come to the conclusion of. All that protection for overzealous cops, it seems to be reserved for white cops. So when it comes to even law enforcement officers, it's the white cops who get protected, and everybody else gets made an example of. Racism within the department, police department, say it ain't so, but we know it is. Okay. So white, black, or brown, if you're a cop involved in an unjustified shooting, you need to be held accountable by way of criminal charges against you, and the same as anyone else who would be involved in an unjustified shooting. If you haven't already, be sure to like, share, and subscribe so that when I post new videos, you'll be the first to know. So now we're going to go to some news that you probably already know, but we're going to dive a little deeper. Also, what I wanted to bring out too was another reason why there was a quick firing of this Latino officer, the sheriff's deputy in Florida, is because when it comes to Black men who were shot and killed by law enforcement officers, unfortunately, society, it is, determines the worth of the dead person based on their status. And in Fortson's case, he was a military man, so he passed the status test in society's eyes and white people's eyes. Okay. Another reason that the deputy got dropped off at the bus stop was because Fort Walton Beach is Okaloosa County, Fort Walton Beach area, Destin area. That's a military town. Okay. And so the sheriff didn't want to beef with the local members of the military or the military at all. So now that Eddie Duran is no longer protected by the sheriff's department, because the sheriff admits that Duran's actions were unjustified, Duran should be charged with homicide. So we'll see how long that takes. And it might take some more, it might take military members to say, hey, he was an upstanding person and there needs to be something done about this. Now we know his family's probably going to sue the police department and the sheriff's department and all that. But he just letting him go, just firing the sheriff's deputy is not good enough. It's not good enough. So, yeah. So speaking of being charged and convicted, by now I know that you know, hopefully anyway, that Donald Trump got convicted on all 34 felony counts of falsifying records, paying $130,000 to a porn star, Stormy Daniels, to cover up their entanglement, and all to manipulate the 2016 presidential election. Now, their affair happened when Trump's wife, Melania, was either pregnant with their son or when she had just given birth to their son. All of that, either way, that was foul. That was real foul. So Melania, she gave a statement, and let's see what she was talking about in her statement. Trying to bring it up for you. I keep trying to bring it up. Hold on. It's always something. Technology. I almost had it. So if you haven't already, be sure to like, share, and subscribe so that when I post new videos, you'll be the first to know. I don't know why it keeps going off. Let's see. Because we know that actually Melania never showed up a day in court to for the whole trial, Trump's trial. And if you are a woman and your husband was charged with 34 counts, including messing around with a porn star while you were pregnant with y'all son, you probably wouldn't want to necessarily show up and support him either. So this is crazy. I am okay, let's see if this is gonna work. Anyway, I was gonna tell you, show you what Melania said, but she really didn't say anything. She actually was real quiet on the case against Donald Trump. But essentially, here's a picture of what she probably would have said had she wanted to make a statement. So this is just a little meme saying when you're arguing with someone and you're trying not to hit them. So basically, that's probably what happened when he got home. She's like, okay, dude, not only did I not come and support you, and this is why, because she already knew before we did that he was guilty. But now that he is guilty, he hasn't changed the way he's handling anything. He continues to blame everything on everyone else. And so that leads me to this conclusion, or leads me to this question. And I'm trying to take that off that photo, but now I can't get it off. But essentially, what it's doing is it's making those people who claim that if Trump is convicted, remember there are people, they would go around and ask, what, how do you feel about Trump being charged with all of these things? And the people, some of them clearly said, well, if he is convicted, then we will not be voting for him for president. But now, I mean, it sounds good when you don't have to back it up. But now that they have to back it up and he's been convicted of 34 felony counts, now we'll really see how people are going to react. Will they still support him and give him their presidential votes, or will they not and vote for somebody else, or not at all? So now Trump's attorney, the one who was like his sidekick, looked like his sidekick in every statement that he made outside the courthouse. Now he wants to push the idea that, oh, Trump is 77 years old and he's a first-time offender and he should not get jail time for 34 felony counts. Yeah. So at any rate, that's what they want to push. First was he's not guilty, and now he's guilty on all other charges. Well, he shouldn't go to jail. So do you think he'll go to jail? Do you think he'll go to prison? If so, or somebody mentioned that even if he just did, what is it called, community service, that him having to do community service in New York basically means cleaning up the streets, cleaning up graffiti off of walls and things like that. And could you see Donald Trump in an orange suit walking around with a little stick to pick up paper and cigarette butts that people throw down and all of that? What would be more demeaning to him, to have to do that or to go to prison? So that, in addition to, I doubt that the judge will forget how Trump talked about him and talked about his daughter and how the legal system is rigged. So that was before the jury voted to convict him. Now, since his conviction, Trump has blamed everyone but himself and his own actions. So in other words, ain't nothing changed but the date on the calendar. So we shall see what is to become of Donald Trump, we have to wait till July to see that. But anyway, to find out more about the things that I care about, you can go to the written version of my journal. That's at eurweb.com. Thanks so much.